أشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. أما بعد, the discussion is about something very hard. It has always been like that. All times now it is worse. In the time of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, say that I witness. There are those who go about campaign, mobilize, announcing to the people. Don't listen. Should go about the see that
Recording in progress.
so they will go on and announcing that don't listen to that Quran that Muhammad praise Allah was only and the only is disconnect yourself from it. In Yoruba, it's very good. They say, that's only so that your idea can your power so that what you are bringing will override what Muhammad. So you know, some people that they died after they died after your book, or they died after they did not access the message of God. Because some people who are telling them don't listen, they encourage them to abandon. But you know that it's not straight. Because that was the same thing some people said during the time of Noah alayhi salam. وقالوا لا تتبعنا ولا أسواق ولا والنصر. The time of Musa alayhi salam, they said there will always be people whose campaigns will be don't listen to your messenger, don't listen to it, avoid it. Some people will fall for that. So we'll have with them and yeah, do that. It will have to leave the book. It was possible now we actually go back to the land of we have had we have people and family following the campaigns of the sheep. But it's so bad and worse in our own times that the Muslims themselves were this Quran that Allah makes it Quran because it's something that we read. Quran, the name of the Quran, the meaning of that word is Malibram. Yeah. When you read something, you are making Quran. If I say, Alhamdulillah, that's my Quran. That's what it said. That word is salvation. It is word of Quran. The Quran is so named, something that we read. Choose something that we read becomes something that we are. Allah made the Quran something that we read. Yes, we find this with this discussion is not just about reading the Quran. because I think the Quran has many comes. Inshallah, will come to it. I want us to appreciate what we are doing at the work because the Quran. If we go to Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah says, ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى. This Quran, Allah says, read it and there are three interpretations. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب. This Quran is not a book that has any sort of a doubt. We don't have anything for that. Anybody would say that no. There is no doubt inside the Quran, no confusion inside the Quran. And it has guidance for those who are consciously fearful. So the scholars say, does it mean that if the person is then Allah began to describe those people. الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة وما رزقناهم والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إلينا وما أنزل من قبلك بالآخرة هم لا هدى because of following وأولئك هم المفلحون. They are those, he said, who they are the ones who are successful. But I think there's no way successful except the people who follow the Quran. There is no way success without following the Quran. This Quran is a book of guidance. It's a book for us to read. It's a book of guidance for everybody. Yet we find that we have said to the Quran. In Al-Ma'idah, يا أهل الكتاب قد جاءكم رسولنا يبين لكم كثيرا مما كنتم تخفون من الكتاب ويعلم الله كثيرا قد جاءكم من الله نور كتاب يهدي به الله من اتبع رضوانه سبل السلام ويخرجكم من الظلمات إلى النور ويهديه إلى الصراط يا أهل الكتاب قد جاءكم رسولنا our messenger has kept all our messages. Why we and are talking about these are commanding these programs are for team. They are focused. Our messenger you by giving them but it's right. There are so many things in their life, like the coming of the Prophet. It was in their own understanding that October, it's written in their that the Prophet mentioned that was the cover of and unfortunately, they used to tell the Arabs before the Prophet came, God soon raise a problem. But when the Prophet came up, there is belief in him. So Allah invited them down. What is that? And that كثيرا مما كنتم تقولون most things you are hiding inside your room, you will expose it from guidance from Allah. You are why someone has been overlooked. Allah said, قَدْ جَاءَكُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ نُورٌ وَكِتَابٌ مُبِينٌ. Nur, a light has come from Allah. And it's a book that is very clear. Quran is so clear. أحكمت آياته ثم فصلت إلى الدين القديم. أحكمت the practice of the Quran is so clear. ثم فصلت. And then the Quran was clearly explained why the Quran is so clear. Allah calls it more light. وَكِتَابٌ مُبِينٌ, and a book that is clear. You can say كِتَابٌ مُبِينٌ, a book that clarifies facts. This book that is like that clarifies facts. Yeah, really love with this Quran. Allah will guide whoever follows the guidance of the Quran. Allah will guide them to Subul Salam. The verse will be called Subul Salam. The day you follow the Quran, Allah will guide you to a safe place of stay. That He will allow my Tabar will accept what you pray to. If you follow the Quran, Allah will liberate you. He will free you from darkness even more. He will bring you to light. The evening by His permission. You follow this Quran and you will be from darkness. Who is giving us this guarantee? Oh, the guarantee. That within a Sirata Mustaqim, we can achieve it unless we follow the Quran. So the Quran will show you Sirata Mustaqim. It will also guide you on remaining on Sirata Mustaqim. This is the Quran that we have. This Quran is also Mubarak in Al-Anbiya. This Wahada Bikul Mubarak and Zalna. Antum Lalu Mumkiru. Wahada, this Quran is a big, it's a reminder. This Quran is a book of blessings. And Zalna Awala. We are the one who reads the blessing of Allah. That's why Salam said, if you want to be blessed, read the Quran. Allah will bless you. Why? It's a book of blessings. Wahana, Sikul, Mubarak, and Zalna. The end is will you now abandon your act? Will you now abandon and will you now accept and this is the part is the income. Yes, they should not care what to talk about. This book is a book of blessings. And Zalna, We are the one who sent down that blessing. Will you not show in God? Will you abstain from God? Will you set God? Will you now make this blessing? You will not read it and stick to it and take it to yourself. This is the Quran that we have. Elsewhere in the Quran, that's the source. It said, Kitab and Zanna ilayka Ba'akum liyadabbaru ayatihi wa liyatadhakkaru bil It's source. I called out, Ya inna فاحكم بين الناس بالحق ولا تتبع الهوى فيضلك عن سبيل الله إن الذين يضلون عن سبيل الله لهم شديد بما نسوا يوم الحساب وما خلقنا السماء والأرض وما بينهما باطلا ذلك الوعد الذين كفروا وويل للذين كفروا من النار أما الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات كالمفسدين في الأرض أم نجعل المتقين كتابا أنزلناه إليك مبارك ليدبروا آياته وليتذكروا This Quran, Allah said, Kitab. This Quran is a book. Mubarakun, it's a blessing. We have given it to you, Muhammad. It's one of the things we have abandoned about the Quran. You read a verse, we are thinking about the meaning of the verse. Because as we read the Quran as forms, we are coming into it. Abandoning the Quran is not only abandoning Tilawa, but the one who has abandoned Tilawa is most likely to abandon the rest. The book of abandoning the Quran completely starts with what? Abandoning Tilawa. We are coming back to the inshallah. The forms of abandoning the Quran. Let me mention one. One of the forms of abandoning the Quran is seeking cure, shifa with the Quran. Seeking cure by means of the Quran. And one listening to the Quran to cure yourself. Wallahi, it's very precious. Listening to the Quran to cure yourself. It is not every time you take action at all. Or we have abandoned that one. As if it doesn't do it, we are talking about. Sure. Was it not so to the case of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri that was also connected to life in Sahih Muslim? Decades. They employed everything. No cure was found. The man, you know, when people are beaten or struck by these and powers, they will be dying gradually. And you can see them dying. I have seen something like that. Someone was struck by a snake. A huge snake. The person will be dying gradually. So they started looking after the companions. Where are they? These followers of Muhammad. Where are they? Where? So they came to the companions. It says, Hali min raqin indakum, amongst you, with you. Do we have one raq The rock is a doctor. Allah told us that in Qiyamah. Wakila man. So the rock is a doctor. Do you have a doctor who can cure our king who was stung by a scorpion? Abu Said said, hey, yes, we have. That time. No said to. No happened to Sada was there. No antivenom. He went there, he took the leg, said, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. And he ended it as Ghayri Maghdubi Alayhim Waladhdallin. And the reporter said, the man stood up, like a person who was freed from a jail. He stood up. They say, I will give us something. So they gave them a sheep. They ate that sheep till they got to Madrid. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when they asked about it, he said, who told you that Surah Al-Fatiha is Surah Al-Shifa? Who told you that Fatiha cures? That's why another name for Surah Al-Fatiha is what? Surah Al-Shifa. Surah Musa. When last did we employ the Quran to cure our sick people? We have troubles. We're running about. When last? I remember the case of a brother who did exactly the same thing. The snake beats the wife. In what? Snake beats the wife of one of your brothers. That time in the night, 9:40 something p.m. No lights, no car, nothing. Unfortunately, you know those days men go completely broke. You understand? Those days that you'll be looking for pockets of etiquette. Maybe I forgot 200 naira. And you will not find 200 naira. The brother did not have a car. Nothing. And the woman was growing gradually. The 2 points of the bank were tear from the leg. The banks were. The brother took his leg. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. You know the way that woman will come? By the time he finished, Wallah, the venoms of the snakes were creeping down the legs. Wallahi, I saw it. The venoms of the snake were creeping down the legs of the woman. She's still alive today. We have abandoned the Quran. Is it we who are not making tilawah? Who will not make pure with the Quran? And so Quran, you the Quran was. So Nani Quran. You don't look at Quran. That's you know why it's Quran. Anyway, Ramadan to God. Allah protects us. Allah said to us that this book is Mubarakun, Kitabun Anzalnahu ilayk. This is a book that we have revealed to you, O Muhammad. It is Mubarakun, it's a blessed book. Blessed book. Al-Imam Shaykh, he says, Man qara al-Quran ahabbahu nas. If you are a good reciter of Quran, people will love you. If we talk about Nishawi now, do we love him? What about Shaykh Mahmoud Khalil? Do we love him? Who said? How about Ali Jan? What about Shaykh So Shure? What makes you to love other people? Quran. Barakat from Quran. Jami said, Rahimahullah, our Imam. Man Quran Quran happens. You are a good leader of Quran, people will love you. They will leave their hopes, they want to come and pray with you. Why? is Quran. Masha. Because the book is a book of less. He now says, the reason I have one of the reasons I sent down this Quran is the science, the basis of the Quran. You should be contemplating and thinking about the basis of what does this verse mean? What does this verse mean? What does this verse mean? People usually ask me, Abu Naasir, what does hadith mean? I hardly hear what does ayah of Quran mean. Into my eye. And the companions used to go to the Prophet Muhammad to ask him of the meanings of the Quran. When in Luqman, Allah said, Inna shirka they came to ask the Prophet what that means. He explained that. So the companions used to ask what does the Quran mean after Tadabbur al-Quran. But we don't make Tadabbur. Is it the person who don't even read the Quran and all that they ponder about the Quran? May Allah forgive all this. So this book is Kitabun Anzalnahu Ilayka Mubarak. Not just that the book itself is Mubarak. Allah said, Inna Anzalnahu Bi Laylatin Mubarakatin. The night that Allah revealed the Quran is night that is also what? Mubarak. The book is what? Mubarak. It was said that on which night? Mubarak. Everything about the Quran is barakat. Barakat. What does that mean? It means that it will be things of benefit for everybody. Everybody benefits, some benefits, some benefits, some benefits. This one benefits. Everybody will be picking benefits from the Quran. The word of Allah subhanahu. So you see that it's unfortunate that we are now having to talk about how we have abandoned this blessed book. You are shouting, Tinubu, the barakat in your front that you have left aside. Tinubu ló gbin ìrẹsì. Olóúnjẹ kí ìrẹsì ó wù. Olóúnjẹ kó tó rọ̀ sánmà. Òun gangan ní tí ipá rẹ̀ ká àlámọ̀rí tiẹ̀. Let's go back to the Quran. Allah says, يُدَبِّرُ الْأَمْرَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ إِلَى الْأَرْضِ. I, Allah, I control the affairs of everywhere from the heavens. And what I decide happens on the earth. So dollar is high. Who decided it should be like that? Allah will be. يُدَبِّرُ الْأَمْرَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ إِلَى الْأَرْضِ. He decides the affairs of the heavens. He puts it back on the earth, and the man by go and destroy it. So instead of crying to Abuja, why not cry to Allah? What is Sama? This is Quran. Quran said our Arzak is in the heavens. Not just anything that you are bound to, and the one will give you as to someone who. We are crying to human is that don't cry to Allah. If we don't read the Quran properly and ponder about the Quran, our wahala will be much. That's what we are saying. You abandon the Quran. This Quran is a blessing. Elsewhere it says, "One nasil min al-Quran ma huwa shifa'un wa rahmatun lil-mu'minin." We have not revealed anything in this Quran except something that is shifa. Cure. It's not just cure of headache. It's not just cure of malaria. Cure, shifa only. And look at this diagram, shifa. It's the extent of its being shifa. We cannot be determined. It's vastly full of cure. And the Quran, Alright. The scholars say Shifa only Amradi Abdan wal Qulub. The Quran is Shifa, here for the diseases of the heart, like al-husn, like al-khawf, like fear, worry, grief. One Muslim will say, you are depressed. You are depressed. Muslim depressed. Who born depression? Carry Quran. But because we are far from Quran, we are far from Quran now. Because the biggest grief and worry, wallahi is Quran. I have an experience with a young woman. She's now a teacher of Quran in the United States. She learned all Qur'an. She was an engineering student at that time. Maybe she's scared. She had issues, academic issues. So when I go past, I always see this person like this. What's wrong with you? Come, what's your problem? She said, I failed a course, 2 courses, Maths 201 if you went to the Maths 201, and I think another course, 2 of them. They are troublesome courses. Once an engineering student fails them, 1 year, like no way. So he got translated. I said, so what I said, when did it? I said, when did it? I said, yesterday. So the sadness had been protracted. I said, you read Quran? She said, yes. Say, are you sure? I said, yes. Go and read Surah Al-Anbiya. You know what Allah told us in Anbiya? The problems that the Anbiya faced and how he helped them to solve their problems. They try and think about it. Come back and tell me the results. 2 days later or 3 days later or thereabout, I saw her. I said, how are you feeling? I said, better. Do you know this sort of motivation for this woman? She got married, she went to the US, she left the US, she came to Egypt, she studied the Quran, memorized the Quran, studied riwayat of the Quran, returned to the US. She has an institute now, she's teaching women Quran. She told my elder brother, she see that your brother. He gave me, say I should read Anbiya. As I was reading the Anbiya, it was as if it was melting the trouble that I had in my mind. Surah Al-Anbiya. Hold it. Recite Anbiya when you are troubled. Allah will solve your problems. That's for any place in the Quran. The Quran, Shifa of the Amrat is a cure for the illnesses of the heart, or Amrat al-Abdan, and the sicknesses of the body. We have been an example of that. So how people employ the Quran to cure themselves. Wallahi, there is cure in the Quran. I remember a man who was possessed by a jinn. This one was possessed by a jinn. So when the jinn started to stop her, I went there. We started to recite the Quran. وَالصَّافَّاتِ صَفًّا فَالزَّاجِرَاتِ زَجْرًا فَالتَّالِيَاتِ ذِكْرًا إِنَّ إِلَهَكُمْ لَوَاحِدٌ. You know what the jinn was saying? I will come out. I will come out. Don't answer them. Continue. رَبُّ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا وَرَبُّ الْمَشَارِقِ إِنَّا زَيَّنَّا السَّمَاءَ. You know how the room was behaving? The way wind blows before it falls. Everyone, I said, you people are mad. Inna zayyana sama. They want to threaten you too, you don't know. I have made Rukia one day. The brother lifted me and stoned me to the door. Wallah. I was making Rukia, he carried me like stoned me to the door. I just remained there.
But I didn't stop my higher course. It was Kursi that I started that day. He carried me like this. Oh no, me my where I do but I was giving him that weapon because I know the problem he has with me. Rukia can be funny. May Allah protect all of us. So Allah says, وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ تَعْبَتْ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءُ وَرَحْمَةٌ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. For the people of Iman, Quran is shifa and rahmah, mercy for you. And mercy from Allah to you. Is it reasonable to abandon the mercy from your Lord? Mercy, rahmah from Allah. He set it aside. Oh my shame. May Allah forgive all of us. The Prophet Muhammad says, Inna Allah yarfa'u bihadha al-kitab aqwam wa yarfa'u bihi akharin. This book, Qur'an, because of it, Allah will raise some people up because of that. You will be son of nobody. Yes. When I say, who knows this verse? Me. Now, who knows this verse? You. Now, who knows this verse? They will be with the you want to face the know that you want to observe Salah. What did the Prophet say? Finally, I'm trying. Next time. We are 26. That one will show up with your sports. Even if it's like slave, once we were action, a real commander, if you listen to this program, myself, you know, the account was called, you will be shy to go to the prophet. You'll be waiting that some people say that this thing and then go. It's not from you will need to understand. Yes, you may just size and say, maybe I'm the most learned, but don't wait for you've been waiting. You are shy. You might just stood up. So Allah, He led me. We were there, the two of us. Wallahi, we didn't complain. He led us. So that is so. It was the last day of Ramadan. We are coming back to Nigeria. It was in Nigeria at the airport. We led Zulu. When we made Adhan for us, we now called him. You know, since we are going to need food, after the Adhan of us, what did he do? He said, "Man, Bismillah." He said, "You want to kill me?" We laughed. So you know that it's killing. He said, "Wallahi, in outside this, you want to kill me?" But you are the one who led to wait in front by himself. So we say, "Oh yeah, Bismillah." Say, I'm sure maybe when he was even making Taqiyah, he might have said, "Hey, Allah, help me to finish this Salah." So in Allah, has a kitab with Quran, Allah will raise you up. If you want your son to be raised up, make him learn Quran. If your son is in the pack of students, oh, you Quran. This Quran. If anybody says they will keep quiet, with any one of us here who memorize Quran, yes, please can you come out to get Salah? You go in Salah. So the Prophet said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Inna Allah yamur bi hadha kitab aqwam. Allah uses Quran to raise you up. But let me say something here. Equal. Can you vex to memorize Quran? You know what I mean by vex? I don't vex. AbduRauf. You can vex and you don't memorize it. That is that. But like you vex forward, you will vex back. See. It's 1 year program. But to that 1 year, you have to dedicate everything to that Quran. That's why the best time to memorize Quran, parents, when those kids are small boys, they don't know it. Wallah, it's better for your son to be memorizing Quran than to be learning ABC. That's ABC when he is memorizing Quran. No boy will memorize Quran, come back and start learning ABC. That brain bigger than it. Wallah is bigger than it. A brain that captures Quran, memorize the whole Quran. From Fatiha to Nas, you are getting to read ABC. ABC. What's ABC? Parents, I encourage you, don't be afraid. Make your children memorize Quran first. Don't be afraid. Say, wait. Forget about it. One more wait now. But make them memorize Quran first. Quran first. Show respect for Allah. But this Quran, Allah will use it to raise some people. He will use the same Quran to use it to bring down some people. So when you call that, when you call what? Because of it. This Quran. Unfortunately, this Quran with which Allah will raise you up is the same thing people are set up. Very unfortunate. The same Quran, that's the same book that people have said that. Yes, what Allah said, I will raise you up if you know it. That is the same book that the people have abandoned. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when people die in battles and they want to bury the Muslims, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, أيهم أكثر أخذا للقرآن أيهم أكثر للقرآن. Which of these people dead body on the ground waiting to be buried? The Prophet will start. He will say, which one amongst them knows the Quran more? When they show you, you cut people as the one who best knows the Quran is the one Prophet will bury first. Allah will use this Quran to erase people. With the same Quran, some people will keep back. If you go to that country down and you are there, you can be doing so many things. When it's the turn of somebody to say something about Quran, and they not know our people. But when we were younger, telling us story. Who asked that story that is telling us? This Quran is the means of goodness for us. The means of goodness. One of the names of the Quran is Al-Qur'an, something with which you know what is good and what is evil. So if you can't determine guidance, you can't determine care of the Quran, you can't get no from Quran, you can't get baptized from Quran. What are you looking for? Who are you? Is the person not better? A dead person? So that's why I said we are discussing a matter that is unfortunate that we are seeing and it is so widespread. If we catch us one by one here, we start asking you, how many pages of Quran did you read today? You know there will be disaster. Or there will be no disaster. Serious disaster. Catch us one by one. How many pages of Quran did you read today? But how many WhatsApp messages did we read today? Can we find any of us who did not open WhatsApp today? Can we find? Let's even say this. Is there any one of us? Let me leave my heart aside. Among us men, is there any of us today who did not open WhatsApp? Not because your phone is bad. Your phone is good for you. Deliberately set aside WhatsApp to you. It's hard to find. Now, you are still checking it here. So this matter with abandoning the Quran is unfortunate. Wallah, it's unfortunate. Al-Imam Ibn Kathir, rahimahullah, he explains what it means, the various forms of abandoning the Quran. He said, rahimahullah, كان الكفار إذا تلي عليهم القرآن أكثر اللغط والكلام. Kufa, when the Prophet is reading the Quran, أكثر اللغط, they will start saying nonsense things. والكلام في غيره, they will be talking about things away from the Quran. They will start starting noise. I have seen this. I was in Uyo between 93 and 95. They used to call the Quran Hausa Bible. So when I read Quran as a student at the time, they will say, hey, they will start one music. They want to shout me down. I will just be smiling. Because that's the way of Kufa. Allah mentioned that in Surah Luqman. ومن الناس من يشتري اللهو الحديث ليضل عن سبيل الله بغير علم ويتخذها هزوا. He will start something that people will pay attention to so that they can leave the Quran. The Qasir said, rahimahullah, كان الكفار إذا تلي عليهم القرآن أكثر اللغط والكلام في غيره. When the Quran is read to them, they start shouting, making a noise with things other than the Quran. Hatta la yasma'un, so that they will not hear. We do that, and we don't want to hear. And we mentioned that in, I think, Surah Fussilat. La tasma'u li hadha al-Quran wallahu bihi. Don't listen to Quran. When we're younger than this, Christians used to tell us at school, that's your Quran, no read here. No read Quran here. They are great. This is part of Al Quran. So when you read Quran, people are making a noise. Oh, it's part of Al Quran. وَتَرْكُ عِلْمِهِ وَحِفْظِهِ. Likewise, people abandon learning the Quran or the Quran, memorizing the Quran. When we're younger than this, Babas used to go to Masalas, they will call the afar of Iledu to be reading Quran to them, tell them they people don't have time for all those kind of things. Between Maghrib and Isha. They will say, every Saturday and Sunday, they say it's At-Tasfiyah. But now, how many mosques will they make Tafsir? Yala Salatu. They will go Salatu, do Salatu, do Salatu. Why not teach them how to read the Quran? Teach them Nas, teach them Balak, teach them Ikhlas, the small surahs short surahs with which they can observe Salah and also read the Quran. Don't forget that a class is Thulusul Quran, a third of the Quran. So people will abandon the Quran. He says, وَتَرْكُ عِلْمِهِ وَحِفْظِهِ. People will abandon learning the Quran and memorize the Quran. Min hijran. It says, وَتَرْكُ عِلْمِهِ وَحِفْظِهِ أَيْضًا مِنْ hijran. That is also part of abandoning the Quran. وَتَرْكُ الْإِيمَانِ بِهِ. Abandoning belief in the Quran. وَتَصْدِيقِهِ. And accepting and affirming whatever the Quran tells us. Min hijran. They are from the aspects of Hajj the Quran. Abandoning the Quran. He said, Rahimahullah, وَتَرْكُ تَدَبُّرِهِ وَتَفَقُّهِهِ مِنْ هِجْرَانِ. Likewise, تَرْكُ تَدَبُّرِ الْقُرْآنِ. Abandoning thinking and pondering about the Quran. وَتَفَقُّهِهِ. And seeking the understanding of Quran. Min hijran Quran. It is from the aspects of abandoning the Quran. I like to tell people who have madrasas, let's try to create time to explain the Quran that we make children memorize. Create some time to tell them some meanings about some of the things they memorize the Quran. Like to have, you are making tafsir for a child on speak any surah. Which surah? Surah. So, say what's up? What does part mean? You explain. So part is talking about the sukuk of the malai. So you tell the explain it. Anytime they are reading that place, they will remember that so part. It's talking about the malaika as they always stand where in sukuk. And so on and so on. Any place you read in the Quran, try to tell them something about the Quran, so that you don't fall in tabu, tadabburihi wa tafahhumihi, abandoning thinking about the Quran and understanding the Quran. Wa tarkul amali bihi wal imtithali awamirahu wa ijtinabi sawa'irahu. It says, تَرْكُ تَدَبُّرِهِ وَتَفَقُّهِهِ وَتَرْكُ الْعَمَلِ بِهِ. تَرْكُ الْعَمَلِ بِالْقُرْآنِ. Abandoning working with the Quran. Following the rulings of the Quran. I know somebody who memorized Quran, but he always misbehaves. That is misbehaving is part of abandoning Quran. The laws of the Quran are there, but he will abandon it. This one is very common with memorizers of Quran. The Prophet warned us about it. Because this Quran, hujjatun laka aw alayk. The Quran is hujjah for you or against you. So if you memorize the Quran and you are not following the Quran, it will become hujjah against you. And the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wassalam, أكثر منافقي أمتي قراء. أكثر منافقي أمتي قراء. The most of the hypocrites in my ummah, they are those people reading Quran. Just want to get one so that him had seat. It's not for the sake of Allah. Yes, it's to Allah. So he goes to stay in a camp to win first in Quran competition. That's all. That's all that concerns him about Quran. Imam al-Hasan al-Basri said, "Umiru bi tilawati al-Quran li ya'malu bihi. Fattakhadhu tilawatahu amalan." They were asked to read the Quran so that they can walk with the Quran. Read Quran so that they need to walk. They don't thought that tilawa will work. So you see people having business cards. Quranic recitation, competition, chairman, business card. Business card. Director of Abia State, Quranic. I don't want to say Kaduna State or Kano State. But I know the office in Kano, the office of Association of Quranic Recitation of Nigeria, Quranic Reciters of Nigeria, Association of Quranic Reciters of Nigeria. They are not heard before. Who put me in Kano? They have office. They have in Bombay. They have. Let me tell you, those of us starting madrasa, if you want is Arabic Quran teachers, those are the people you will call. They have the telephone number of all those people reading Quran. They can get you teachers in your madrasa. But not also with these people you interview some of them. Many of them, let me not say so. Ask them the simplest question that was somebody memorized Quran in their heart. They ask the person, what's the meaning of Akida? What is Akida? Woman took care of the of the person in Akida. The target is Akida school. Yes, you know Akida. What's Akida? So all the time you are memorizing Quran and learning all these Qira'ats, you didn't learn anything with Akida. The person is just learning Akida. May Allah protect all of us. So it says, all these are from the aspects of Tawkul Amal in Quran. This is what Tawkul Amal bihi one kitan our maybe watching Zawajin. It will come with the journey. Ibtitatu awamir in Quran. Obey the instructions of Quran. Watching Zawajin. And abstaining from those things the Quran warns us against. Means the Quran. That is Tawkul imtithal awamir. Wat-Tarbiyah. And all of these will come from the issues of abandoning the Quran. So when the Quran says, which instruction will you take? Let me not use that one. وَلَا تَمْشِ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرَحًا. Don't walk on the surface of the earth armed. It's an instruction from Quran. Luqman was advising this man, Innaha, and before that, down, after that, down. Innaha in takum mistara habatin min habdali, fatakun bisafat. That's all. Wala tusa'ir faddaka linnas. Wala tamshi fil abdi marina. La tusa'ir faddaka linnas. Don't go on unleashing your jaw. La tusa'ir faddaka linnas. Don't unleash your joy against the people. Wala tamshi fil abdi marina. When you walk on the surface, don't walk proud. Don't walk proud. That's why I said, out. You can't puncture the earth. No matter how should that part in the days of should that part, brothers, you should that part. No matter how much should that part, land up to in your height, in terms of your height. You cannot reach the mountains. Allah says, all these things, your Lord Allah hates them. It means the Muslim will be humble in the family. Very humble. Full of modesty. We could see Ashala and our Muslim Asha. Allah hates you. So sorry, John Madua should not be among us. I don't know how to say this in English or it's Yoruba. The Aksha is the poorest person. The one who has thrown away every sense of decency in the shade. You know, one of the things you know them is somebody will say, see me, there's nobody there can use your car. So I told you, so a young person, you are white. And if someone says, you see me, there's nobody I can. You say, ah, Wali, Wali. You are just saying to you, Wali, you know, I said to you, Allah protects all of us. It is from the aspects of abandoning the Quran. وَالْرُجُولُ عَنْهُ إِلَىٰ غَيْرِهِ مِنْ شِعْرٍ أَوْ قَوْلٍ أَوْ غِنَاءٍ أَوْ لَهْوٍ أَوْ كَلَامٍ أَوْ طَرِيقَةٍ مَأْخُوذَةٍ مِنْ غَيْرِهِ مِنْ إِجْرَاءٍ. He says, وَالْرُجُولُ عَنْهُ إِلَىٰ غَيْرِهِ, leaving the Quran and then come to something else. Mean sharing. Only God, Shaykh. I don't know how to say it. Even the songs that I remember, I used to beg Allah to forget them. One way or another. You know Ibrahim Asingani? Yes. I used to memorize the D1. D1 Ibrahim Asingani. I used to ask Allah, remove this thing from my brain. How we memorize Chiro. And that's what you find. If a person becomes too used to shame, you can say, if it's not entering this Quran is enough of Sunnah, Hadith, and after Salah, Yasau Kama was say, what covered them, we cover you. Look at 6 said when people abandon Quran, only Kula. Memorize only. I tell you, all those who are power, Mama calling you sing. Tell some of them to read Quran, they can't speak Quran for it. Every Quran is spoken. You will know what I'm talking about. Did Allah not tell in Quran that this dunya is banal? So I don't need to need banal to say for here. In my this dunya is what banal. Woman asdahu min Allah illa. Who will say it better than the way Allah has said it? Allah said, Tabarak alladhi biyadihi al-mulk wa huwa ala kulli shay'in. الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن. So we are in a man I don't need that one. And when you need it, okay, you need Quran is enough. Even God can be doing it. They were singing songs before the prophet came. Still, Allah told the prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَمَا عَلَّمْنَاهُ وَمَا إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا ذِكْرٌ. May Allah protect us. Yes. If you learn Shukr, you will perfect your abilities. But don't let it be that because you are learning Shukr, that's the reason why you don't have time for the Quran. It becomes blameworthy. Our call or statements, some of our early brothers, if they read the statement, Abraham said that. You'll be quoting Galileo Galilei saying that. That's one philosopher, one British outlook of philosophy. It's one of the troubles in our times. People quote sweet statements. The sentence is sweet, but it can be stupid one. Many times when our brothers do something that speaks of speak about what you have been contrary to the Quran. If I check now, I'll see one again. They will now write invent, likeness, invent, partnership, something. See what matter they want to cure. We should be projecting the Quran, we should be projecting hadith, we should be projecting the Athar of Salah. Not all these philosophers. Philosophers happy or long for idiots. So people make it right. There's one philosopher. Quran. So don't get busy with all this. One of the person, the owner of Quran, what's his name? You want to that? Adam's what? You know Oracle now? Adams. Is it Oracle that's his business name? Young man who does that, Adams something. He died of cancer. From the last thing he did was a speech he gave in the university. Steve Jobs. Apple. They say it's Apple, not Oracle. It is Apple. I have a way of life. When people started posting from that last lecture in the university, people started speaking like of it as if now working. Like a regulated, reviewed statement. I went and sat down with it. What the kilos of Ghana? They want to make a so I had a place, I was writing the incongruencies in that speech. I want to know background soon. So you see some of our brothers every day it is Steve Jobs. People are happy with Steve Jobs. The only statements we can be barbaric like that is Quran and what? We are not doing that. It is from AbduRauf. Imam Ibn Kathir said, Rahimahullah, وَالْعُدُولُ عَنْهُ إِلَى غَيْرِهِ. Okay. Made sharing out coding out inner. Some people it is music. They get busy with it. You are singing music. You can't read Quran. You are singing music, you can't read Quran. Allah is unfortunate. Allah is unfortunate. May Allah protect us from this lifestyle. You are listening to music, you can't read Quran. So if Allah asks your ears on the day of Qiyamah, from the things your ears will testify that you are listening to this music. And when you are answered the Quran, you say, La adiri. May Allah protect us. Allah win. Useless plays. You know Ronaldo. You know Rivaldo. You know Ronaldinho. You know the difference between the three of them. They are all different. You know them better. But when they ask you Muhammad ibn Jabal, you don't know. But that's not good. So all these people are people of place. They mentioned Michael Jordan. You know everything about Michael Jordan. Was it true that Michael Jordan actually had HIV or it was a lie? Or he had it and it was cured? You know. Or you don't know. So we know these places, African Cup of Nations. Why? I think that's the name of it. You know what? You know Econ. We are reading it and can you say the truth? But when they ask you, tell me one surah in the Quran, you don't know. Surah Al-Fatiha, what is its name? I said it again. Surah Al-Fatiha, you know what? Quran, It is Surah Al-Fatiha. After Fatiha, tell me any other surah. Muslimi out of 140, 114 surah. He does not know the name of the surah. But he knows the name of the footballers. Humphrey, therefore, all of them. He knows them. But he does not know the names of the Quran. It is part of Ajul Quran. There's one thing about reading something regularly. It makes you take note of the details of that thing. If you are reading it every time, you will take note of the details. So the more you read it, the more the details in that thing you'll be picking up. Wallahi, let us go back to the Quran. If we don't want Allah to punish us, what is the best? It's about the Quran. Go back to the Quran. Oh, it's not good that we abandon Quran. May Allah protect all of us. Or someone begins to spread some kind of statements different from Quran. Or a path idea. You start saying, look, brother, me, I'm not a Salafi. I'm a socialist Muslim. I'm a democratic Muslim. Democratic Muslim. Is it from Quran they pick that name? That's what they be calling themselves. You know, I'm not into extremism. I'm a liberalist. Who taught you liberalism? Who told you to take liberalism as a way of different from what the Quran has told you to live upon? The Imam Ibn Naasir said, these are the various forms. Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah divided all of these things that Ibn Kathir said into 5. But just know that it is all of these that we have said. So I will not read the maximum of the statement of Ibn al-Qayyim. The other thing I would also like us to know is what is the consequence of Hajr al-Quran. Some of them can lead to kufr. Some of them are from Kabair. Some of them kufr. Like Hajr al-Imani bil Quran is kufr. To abandon believing in the Quran is kufr. Get out. You become enemy of Allah. Allah will punish you and useless your life. May Allah protect us. Or Hajr tilawat al-Quran. You believe in the Quran, you work with the Quran as much as you can, but you don't make tilawat. That's also sin. Or Hajr al-Amali bil Quran. You make tilawat, but you are not working with the Quran. Or Hajr qira'at al-Quran bil tajweed. Abandoning the reading of the Quran with what? Tajweed. And you are not learning Tajweed. May Allah protect all of us. I think I like to stop here. There are so many other issues I would have wanted us to look at. The whole of this book is about Hajj al-Quran. That's the topic of it. I only read to us half of the page from the side. What does Hajj al-Quran mean? The various forms of Hajj al-Quran. What the companion said about Hajj al-Quran. What the Quran itself said about Hajj al-Quran. From that is that on the day of Qiyamah, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he will say, Ya Rabbi, inna Quran. They abandoned the Quran. It was from the complaint that Allah told us that the Prophet will save the day of him. So all of us, let us return to the Quran. Qira'atan, wa ta'illuman, wa tadabburan, wa tafahhuman, wa istishfa'an, and idhran. I beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from those who will benefit from the barakat of the Quran. I beg Allah. One day I was making tawaf. I heard one man say, Allahumma ja'alni min huffazi kitab. Allahumma ja'alni min huffazi. Allah makes me from those who memorize your. I look back, he was a rich man with white hair. Only Allah knows why he is praying. Allah, make me from those who complete memorization of Quran. For the sake of Allah, let us pay attention to the Quran. Go back to the Quran. Go back to your Masahib. Learn the Quran. Make tilawah Quran. Make dua with Quran. Seek cure for your illnesses with Quran. It is very efficacious. The problem can be you. Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah in Ad-Dawu wat-Tarbiyah. He said, if a person takes a medicine, two people have the same illness. They were given the same medicine for the same illness. Do you know that the two of them may not become healed by the same day? The first one can take 4 second days already healed. The second one can be a week, a month, 6 months, he's still on it. Why? Because the illness has penetrated all his body. Then the body defense system is weak. The same way the Quran. The Quran is still the same Quran. Except you have problems with it. And a lot of people have problems. So let us solve this problem. Go back to the Quran. Read the Quran. Point about the Quran. Teach the Quran. Let the Quran. Now it is football they want to teach. They want to teach football, eat football, drink football, sleep football. Some young people now, the entirety of their brain is football. May Allah protect us from this thing. أقول ما تسمعون وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله. We beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to provide in what we have heard. And we beg him to make it beneficial for us. And count us among those who heard and implement what we have heard. Because the barakah of hearing is to act upon what you have heard. We have heard so many things. We have attended so many sittings. But the real issue is how many of them are we able to into practice. So this is the real issue. So we beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to not make this sitting a hujjah against us. May He make it a hujjah for us, both in this world and in the hereafter. May Allah correct our affairs in the best manner. So we have like 15 minutes, and we think that we can use the 15 minutes to respond to questions. So if you have questions, we can indicate, signify that we have questions to take it faster. You can please write it in a note and send it forward. But in the meantime, if anybody has any question right now, that person can stand up and ask the question while the rest are writing the questions. Okay, we have a question here already. So, so the first question that we have here is, does a woman who owns gold as a jewelry, not investments, pay zakat? I would like to delay this question because I prefer the question that we want to treat is connected with the Quran, so that it will be a further clarification on what we have been told. If we have treated all the questions concerning the Quran and we still have time, we'll come back to question on zakat. But in the meantime, I would like to delay the question like this. Okay, this one is also, is it true that a child born as a result of fornication cannot lead salah? And can one help in asking for forgiveness on behalf of the person that committed the acts? Like to ask Allah to forgive such a person, even though it mostly depends on the person that committed the act. Okay, this one will also come after. Can a woman do ruqya for her child? How can it be done? This is connected to the Quran. And a woman makes ruqya for a child.
Question direct.
How it be done? Ruqya does not mean much, less or a plus. It is just that you are in the presence of a person who is the afflicted person, and you are reading Quran. That's all. In fact, you can do ruqya on yourself. That's the basic rule. You have headache, do the ruqya for yourself. You have a wound, do the ruqya for yourself. So we can make ruqya for ourselves. The ruqya is just read Quran, begging Allah to cure the person. That's all. It does not need anything. What people do, you start talking to, if it's a jinn, if it's ruqya. Ruqya is not restricted to jinns alone. It may be a snake bite, it may be a scorpion bite, it may be headache, it may be malaria, it may be running stomach. It can be a car. Myself and one of the brothers, we are traveling from Abuja to Lagos. This thing is almost 20 years now. We were between Lagos and Ibadan here. When the car just stopped. The car we are bringing all the way from Abuja is stuck on Lagos, but close to Lagos here. Something is happening. You know those people who tow vehicles? One of them came to us while we were trying to get the car to start. He came. The first thing he did was to touch that car. Say, Alaji. I left the car in this car, but he said no. Like people say no, we don't want to. Please go away. So the man came, he entered his car, he went forward. He was looking at us. We tried to solve the problem of our vehicle, we did not solve. One of the two of us placed his hands on the car. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah. Because the brother said nothing is happening, one thing I can say, talk. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Wallahi Ikhwan. One Fatiha. He just kicked the car. We just hear one. That just started. Somebody, all of us here knows. His phone went back, not me. He repaired it, and those repairing it said nothing was wrong with the phone. Yeah. He took the phone. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. When he finished Fatiha, he pressed the phone started working. So ruqya is not something you start learning. One after we tell you bring the girl or bring the boy, let me read it. You walk so it's not like went to school, just know how to read Quran. That's all. Read Quran, read it to yourself or to your husband or to your wife or to your son or to your daughter or as the case may be. So the ruqya is for all of us. May Allah make it beneficial to us all. Okay. So I don't know how to read Quran frequently. But whenever I listen frequently, okay. But whenever I listen to the Quran, I'm reciting as I'm listening to the Quran, I find it easy. Please, does this count like I'm reciting? Like on Friday we do? You are not reciting Quran. When the Quran is recited, the instruction is that when the Quran is recited, listen to it and do what? Keep quiet. So if you want to read Quran, pick the Quran and read. But when the Quran is read by somebody else, you stop reading it. You see now, you are not reading. But Shaitan wants to make you think that you are reading. The Quran is read and you are talking. You are reading. Keep quiet is the instruction. Unless you are like in a lesson. You are in a class structure or somebody is reading Quran to you. You are correcting it. He's reading it. You want to place the Quran on his mouth. But that you want to make tilawa, carry your mushaf and read. Stand up from your bed. Some ummahats, they will be on their bedrooms. On top of their bed, you now carry on their pillow. On Friday, they want to read Surah Al-Kahf. Alhamdulillah, anzala ala abdihi kitab. On top of your bed. You may not finish that camp. Stand up, sit down, make wudu, face the Qibla, read the Quran. It is allowed to read Quran while lying down. But the issue is that that posture does not encourage you to be able to continue properly. Stand up, Umahat. Don't say, let me be reading it on the bed like that. Stand up, make wudu, sit down, face the Qibla, and read the Quran properly. May Allah accept it from all of us.
And I read the Quran where it is noisy, like in a public bus. I want to recite my Surah Al-Kahf before it ends.
If you are a man, you can. So, if you are a woman, if you are doing so in a public venue, don't allow your voice to go too loud. Because from the sunnah of reading the Quran is that you apply a sweet, sonorous voice to the Quran so that you don't cause trouble inside the bus. I've seen it before. A non-Muslim heard a Muslim woman reading the Quran and say, now my wife did this. Anywhere I go, anything I go, Maria. See voice. So if you are like that, a woman in public, don't allow your voice to go too loud, especially if you are reading Quran very well. So don't read it to the hearing of any other person except yourself, if you are in the public venue. But if you are a man, please read Quran. Let them then ask you, what are you doing? Say Quran. This is Quran. Tabullah. Usually when they hear Quran, they shake. Non-Muslims. In fact, some of them will tell you, can you read it again? You'll be asking you, what is this that you are reading? Just it's my Quran. They like the Quran to hear. Even during the time of the Prophet, they used to hide to listen to the Quran. Despite that, their propaganda. La tasma'u li hadha al-Quran. May Allah protect all of us.
Please advise us on how to reconcile between abandoning poems and learning the rulings of Tajweed. It appears that the basics of the knowledge of Tajweed are embedded in some poems.
Well, the shaykh we are talking about, they are not shaykh, they are not manzumatul ilmiya, as ulama will refer to them. The poems of knowledge. There's hardly any branch of knowledge that does not have those texts classified as poems. You have it in Nahu. Even Jurumiyya comes in its poem now. It's common to insert. You have the book on Af'al by Ibn Malik and Alfiya itself in Nahu and so on. You have Al-Hariri's book, Mulhatul Iraq, and others. Yes, there are books, Manzumatul Ilmiya. There are books on the aspects of knowledge that have been done in the forms of poems. It's in Nahu, it's in Sarf, it's in Usul al-Fiqh, it's in Ilm al-Hadith, it's in Mustalah, it's in Ulum al-Quran, and all other sciences. These are not the poems that we are talking about. And I hope that that is clear. They are not the poems that we are talking about. The poems we are talking about are those poems that you and I know. When those are fast called, those are the poems they start reading. May Allah protect us.
My husband always asks me to cover my body whenever he is reciting the Quran or Salah. Is that correct decision?
Well, you don't have to cover it. But if your husband likes it like that, please do it for him. Because sometimes when a woman is not wearing jilbab and the husband is making tilawa, you're not wearing jilbab can scatter his own tilawa. So please wear jilbab. In fact, you can go out of that room for him so that you don't become a distraction for him. I think that is the angle from where the husband is speaking from. So you tell him, please, wear your clothes. Please, dress well so that you don't scatter this tilawa. May Allah protect us. Alaykum salam wa rahmatullah. How can you best this is on kids challenge kids that have a family get a job kids that and we want this particular for some things like that. How can you best right? Okay, you state the question. Yeah. How do you handle pages that are employed old and better? How do you disclose that? That's the first question. If you have a child that is that has challenge, cannot talk, and it's also challenge his hearing, and you desire to make the child memorize the Qur'an, is there any way out for that child? How do we dispose copies of the Quran? Maybe pages like that, cut pages. It always happens. Me, I have that in my house, many. Because the children, hey. So the way to do is to gather them and burn them. You gather it and do what? You incinerate it, you burn them. The evidence for that was what Usman bin Affan did when the Quran was compiled. Those copies, after the compilation, they were set together and they were burnt. So you can burn the Quran by way of disposing it. When 1 page, 2 pages, 3 pages, this one cuts in the head, this one cuts. You know what I'm talking about? If you have just married, your house is still you will not understand this one that I say. There is a daughter that I know. She eats the Quran. She will tear it and she'll be eating it like food. If you give her food, she will not eat it. But she will tear Quran like this. She will be eating it like food. But if they give her food, she will not eat. So there are things like this. So you just burn the masahif, you burn them. Put them, you can put petrol or kerosene. Kerosene is safer. Then you burn them. As for children who have challenges of speech and hearing, they have schools that they take them to. They learn the Quran. Even the blind ones, there are schools that they take them to. I am sure there are 1 or 2 in the north, but I don't know. We can find out if Imam knows. Okay. But I know there are schools, but we can find out. We can find out those schools. Where is the Baba who asked that? There are schools for them. We can find out. Be in touch with Imam. We'll find out, yes. There are boys and girls learning the Quran who are either deaf and dumb or blind or the 3 of them put together. but it may be expensive to access. So you must be ready to spend for it. May Allah make it easy for you.
We have enough questions here, so we don't need any more questions. So we want to use the same time to attend to these ones. Not get distracted. In this era of people always posting snippets of Quran recitation, will I be sinning if I scroll past without listening?
You are not sinning.
What are verses of verse that one can use for ruqyah?
All verses of the Quran can be used for ruqyah. Any verse. Ikhwa, tabbati yada abi lahabi wa tabba to serve as ruqyah. Anywhere in Quran. Baba Islam, tabbati yada. If Imam reads tabbati yada in Salat, now people say, think or see. So everywhere in the Quran is clear because it says, وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ. But usually the surahs that have been recommended by the Prophet himself, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like Surah Al-Fatiha. Ikhwa, this Fatiha, we are saying. Ogunio. Fatiha is Ogun. Let us be reciting Fatiha. The beginning of Al-Baqarah, Ayatul Kursi, the ayah of Sihr, وَاتَّبَعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينُ عَلَى مُلْكِ سُلَيْمَانَ. The last two verses of Al-Baqarah, from لِلَّهِ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Surah Al-Safat, Surah Al-Jinn, and any other place that is convenient for you. The Quran, read anywhere. May Allah make it beneficial to us.
That's this last thing. Can a child of sinner lead Salah?
A child that was born out of wedlock, can lead Salah? Yes, there's nothing that's exceptional.
Last question. Does a woman who owns gold as a
Zakat is compulsory. If the weight of the ornaments, the adornment of gold or of silver, if it reaches the nisab minimum value and it can wait for a whole year, how? Then zakat is due on it.
Okay, so we come to the history of the BBC Islamic community. We thank our Shaykh for education. It's been yesterday from one place to the other giving lectures. Thank Allah to preserve his health. May Allah continue to strengthen him and may Allah continue to increase his knowledge and increase his benefit for the world. And may Allah reward us for sparing and to come and listen. May Allah not deny of us the reward. صلى الله على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.